Hey friends, here's my quick overview of what I've arrived at the end of our first semester together for our Capstone project. The working title is Sacred Journeys, the Chakra System as a Structure for Psychedelic Chaplaincy, an Autoethnographic Approach or Exploration. And so I'm going to go through the slides quickly with you. So my primary investigation on this work is how have my lived experiences as a practitioner of both Hindu spirituality and yoga informed and shaped my current model of psychedelic assisted chaplaincy? Secondary questions: how do ancient wisdom traditions provide structure to therapeutic practices involving altered states of consciousness? Can we correlate these systematic processes to uncover areas needing deep psychological and spiritual healing? And finally, how can these systems help modern cultures find resonance within themselves and within nature? The methodology I'm going to use for this project is autoethnographic approach, highlighting 2 decades of personal experience of travel and sadhana practices from the Hindu tradition, combining that with an analysis of modern scholarly works, particularly those studies from Johns Hopkins and various sources about the efficacy of psychedelic assisted therapy and coaching, and bridging those into these more spiritual contexts. I'm going to also include some personal journeys, travel diaries, traditional texts, including yoga scripture and contemporary research into these modalities. As a theoretical framework for this work, I'm going to look at the integration of Eastern wisdom traditions, particularly the Hindu and yogic system, combine that with modern psychedelic therapy or coaching. We have coined the term psychedelic assisted coaching, as we are not therapists, and how we combine that with spiritual care practices, including somatic movement, artistic practices, breath work, and then their clinical applications, focusing on the 7 chakra system as an organizing principle for psychedelic facilitation, meaning how we correlate the 7 chakras in our energy body to the way we help our clients process a psychedelic assisted journey from the 3 preps, the journey day, and then the 3 integration process, and how we correlate that with the 7 chakra system. So as noted in the previous slide, we have a 7-stage model that mirrors the traditional chakra system, and here I've got them a little inverted, but just for the ease of the slide. This is how I correlate our therapeutic framework with the chakra system. So the first discovery, not the discovery call, but the first prep call, I call answering the call, literally answering the call to this work. And we talk all about physical, spiritual foundations, the root chakra, the sense of the divine right to belong and take up space in the client's body. Some people have not been in their bodies for many years. They've been completely dissociated. So the first Zoom, we go through those foundational practices of becoming embodied once again. The second visit, we go back into establishing a sense of security, which correlates with the 2nd chakra. We talk about sexual energy, creative flow, creative energy. If there was sexual trauma or sexual abuse, we don't go deep into that as we're not therapists, but we do address it. We do talk about it. And we talk about, alchemically converting that energy into creative flow and creative output. The third prep call, we establish a personal power, which is the solar plexus or manipura. And we give empowering exercises so that the person feels in their body again, but in an empowered way. And by this point, it's been a few weeks, and we have developed a sense of trust, and the person is beginning to feel more empowered. And then at this point, we introduce breath work, which is the sacred bridge from the 3rd chakra in the belly of personal power into the heart, which we were going to open on the ceremony day when they come and actually have the psychedelic substance as part of their shamanic journey and their ceremony. So we introduced breath work at that point. Then on ceremony day, as I said, that's the heart chakra. We have between 6 and 8 hours of curated time. We start with 45 minutes of breath work, holotropic breath work, to get the nervous system primed and ready to dissolve that ego structure and allow that flow, the creative flow, and all the other processes and that root, having faith in their own root, to let go and allow the process of the psychedelic journey to ensue. And so then after that, after their journey day, we meet with them within 24 hours because they're still open and they have all of these, the default mode network is turned off and they have all these new connections in their brain that most people haven't had since they were a child. And so we look to capitalize on that, plasticity in the brain. And so that's when we start the integration process with them, which is, like I said, within 24 hours. And we talk all about expressing and verbalizing and recapitulating the experience. If we witness and hold them and remind them of what they experienced, what they said. The second integration is about embodying that wisdom and anchoring it into their bodies through somatic movement, through creative expression, through artistic flow, through mandalas in nature, whatever that artistic expression looks like for them. And then finally, the last integration is about embodying that new level of self-worth, that healed psyche, and that new makeup of how to go back into their world with all of this new insight. So that really embodies the Sahasrara, or the crown chakra. Okay, I mentioned this in the previous slide, but again, just so that there's no confusion, the process of our program that we've developed, we have an initial screening call where they ask questions, and then if they decide to move forward, they have a screening we have a psychopharmacologist who screens them for psychological wellness, emotional wellness, physical wellness, to make sure that they're qualified and safe to do this process. And again, we have 3 preparation sessions that I've described: the big ceremony day, 3 integration sessions, and then ongoing support that's offered to them either through future spiritual practices, mantra work, yoga practices that we recommend to get them back integrated into their life. Again, where our process mirrors some of the more clinical applications, we do use vetted medical screening protocols. We have many safety considerations and safeguards in our process. We focus on integration techniques and embodying the wisdom that they come away with, and not just having a mystical experience, but carrying those seeds of wisdom that they were able to mine from their own psyche, plant them into their physical reality, and be able to live a new and renewed experience of wholeness, including somatic movement, which is very important, and then again, spiritual care elements as required by our practitioner. I also want to be very considerate of our cultural considerations, because we are dealing with an ancient system from the Hindu and Buddhist traditions. I want to make sure that I use an ethical adaptation of traditional practices in this paper and in this capstone. Not that I'm teaching the chakras specifically, but just asking the question: do these provide a psychological structure that's capable of providing a ladder of growth and development within our clients? I want to be very careful to use a decolonization approach to these practices, not teaching the chakra system outside of Hinduism itself, but just looking at these more as a psychological structure, and adapting them for this therapeutic language that we're using. I want to make sure that there's a preservation of spiritual integrity, and that we're relying more on the modern therapeutic context, using these again as a model. Future applications I see of this Capstone project could be research opportunities in the correlation between this deep wisdom that we all carry and this model of scaffolding that can be used as a healing modality as it is in yoga practice. So there's a lot of opportunity for research studies, refining this model. It could be better, and I'll continue to do that. This could be a good training tool for future practitioners who don't have a deep well of spiritual knowledge, but want to be psychedelic chaplains. There's many in this burgeoning field who may not have a deep spiritual practice themselves. This could be probably exported in a safe way with training. This model could also be integrated with other clinical modalities that are proving successful, and it could also be used to inform policy decisions as these substances and these practices become more mainstream and more accepted and decriminalized in more states. The conclusions for my presentation for you all today. My aim with this Capstone project is to provide a synthesis of ancient wisdom and modern practice used for healing, evidence for its effectiveness through scholarly and contemporary articles and publications. I want to continue to contribute to this emerging field, particularly at Naropa, who has positioned themselves at the intersection of chaplaincy and this emerging field of psychedelic chaplaincy. And it could also be useful for future applications as more and more people come to these modalities to heal trauma that they carry. I think that this simple scaffolding could provide a structure for future applications that would be helpful. Finally, I would like to offer my gratitude and say thank you for making it this so far in my presentation. And while it's definitely still a work in progress, I have a good scaffolding and a good idea of where this is headed. And so my intention is to continue to do my best to relieve suffering of living beings and to be of assistance and help to those that are suffering. So thank you.